Do you wonder, how much does a registered nurse make? You must be in school and you're planning to become a registered nurse, or maybe you're a person who's thinking of going into nursing, but you really don't know, you're trying to weigh your options, trying to figure it out. Well, in this video, I'm going to talk all about it and give you all the salary data that you want to know. So definitely keep watching. My name is Christine and welcome to a new video. If it's your first time here and you want to become a CRNA or grow your CRNA career, start now by subscribing and hitting the bell so you don't miss a thing. You must be saying, hey, Thrive CRNA, I want to know a little bit of information about becoming a registered nurse, what the salary is, and how does that compare to when you're thinking about going into advanced practice nursing. That's going to be the bonus at the end of the video to give you that type of comparison. But right now we're going to focus on becoming a registered nurse and the salary, and I'm going to give you all types of secrets and details about what I've learned and what I've done with my research during this process for you. I did all the legwork for you. When you're thinking about becoming a registered nurse, it's definitely going to be a process. Yes, there are ways where you can expedite the process to make it much more faster, but there are definitely ways where you can expedite and allow yourself to become a registered nurse very quickly. Now, maybe you're saying to yourself, yes, I want to become a registered nurse because my long-term goal is to become a CRNA. So definitely you need to become a registered nurse, get your ICU experience, and then go ahead and apply to a CRNA program, and then hopefully get accepted into a program, and then finish your program and become a CRNA. So there's multiple steps to do that, and that'll be definitely a future video that I'll talk all about that. But however, if you want to learn how to become a CRNA fast, definitely click the link above because I have all the information you need to know about that. Looking at the data for the past couple years, the data does show that a registered nurse are making a nice salary. You're going to live very comfortably. You're always going to be needed, especially being a registered nurse. I mean, you're needed. I mean, there's always a job opportunity in front of you. Either you can do traveling, registered nurse. You can either work in a hospital setting. You can work in an office. There's multiple areas that you can work in as a registered nurse, and if you get bored in one specific area and you say to yourself, you know what, I've been working in a hospital for 10 years and I want to switch it up a little bit and we go into another area, you're more than welcome to, and there's so much opportunities out there. Especially if you think about teaching, I mean, there's always opportunities to teach. So definitely, yes. And there's definitely different ranges how much you're going to make as a registered depending on what area you're going to be in. And I'm going to give you that detail as well. So here we go. Let's get started now. Looking at the salary, the median annual salary for a registered nurse is making approximately $75,000 a year, which is a very nice salary when you're thinking about becoming a registered nurse. Now, when you're looking at the data, at the lower end of a registered nurse, where you're going to make a lower salary, it's approximately $50,000. While at the higher end, when you're looking at being a registered nurse, you can be making up to $106,000 a year. When you're thinking to look at that, you could be, it's kind of a salary of an advanced practice nurse. But when you look at the data, it's definitely few people who are making that salary as a registered nurse. Maybe they've been a registered nurse for many years. Maybe they're in a special niche area where they're able to make that type of salary. So when you're looking at it, yes, as a registered nurse, you're making about $75,000 a year, but there's definitely a lower salary versus higher salary, depending on the area you're looking at. And I'm going to give you those specific information about the areas that are making top salary as a registered nurse. Now, the top paying salary for registered nurses, like I said, can be very high. It can be almost close to or at $100,000 a year as a median annual salary. The industry that has a top paying for registered nurses, of course, when you could think about it now, is pharmaceuticals. So when you're thinking about drug companies, maybe working in a pharmaceutical, medical, manufacturing, maybe a rep, you are going to make close to or at approximately $95,000 a year. But there are other areas that are making top salary for registered nurses in a specific industry. So like I said before, pharmaceutical at $95,000 a year. The federal executive branch, which is making approximately $80,000 a year. Business, computer training. Think about it. An example would be like maybe electronic medical record. Maybe you're working in IT. as a registered nurse, because of course nowadays a lot of the paper records are converting into the electronic health record, which everything is computerized. So you definitely need a mindset of a registered nurse to give you that information to help streamline that transition, because as a registered nurse, you are the one with the patient, and you are the one who kind of know what to document, what not to document. So you could definitely help with that whole transition with the medical record. So when you're thinking about that specific area is about $89,000 average median salary. Legal services, think about it as registered nurses. They're definitely going to be a part of. We definitely need registered nurses in that specific department. So in legal services, you can make $80,000 a year. So these are the top areas that you can be getting paid when you're a registered nurse. And you may think to yourself, oh, I thought hospitals, you're gonna get paid the highest. But no, you gotta think about it too. There are so many areas out there for registered nurses, a wide variety, which is amazing. That's what I love about nursing. There's so many areas. If you don't like one area, you can always switch over to another area. Sometimes it's who you know. So some of these areas that I was just speaking about that's top paying, it's niche based, and it's also who you know. So, if there are opportunities out there, but you definitely gotta look for them, because of course being a hospital registered nurse is great and it's amazing. But if you want to learn a little bit more about these different niche areas, they're definitely out there. I don't know how to get into those specific areas, but definitely they are higher paying positions. I still remember when I was an ICU nurse and looking at it from my perspective and how much I was making, because I'm here to disclose everything for you. I have nothing to hide, and I'm here to give you all the information so you can actually say to yourself, I'm a registered nurse. I'm excited to definitely get a well-paying job as well as provide amazing care to your patients. But we all want to know how much you're going to make, because we have to survive. We have families, we have children, we have loans, depending on how you prepared yourself for, school. So those are some things that definitely have to play into your decision as a registered nurse. So when I was an ICU nurse, this was many years ago, definitely a decade ago. But when I was a registered nurse, and that's a decade ago, I was getting a fairly good salary, in my opinion. When I was working at NYU Langone Medical Center, I worked in the ICU. Right when I graduated as a new nurse, I went right into the ICU. I was a part of a residency program. So I was a part of a teaching institution, which was amazing. And the salary I was making was approximately $80,000 to $90,000 a year. Now, my base salary was approximately the high 80s. I don't have the specific numbers, but it was the high 80s, $1,000 a year. And that's just base salary, okay? Now, when you think about if I was to do overtime, if I did night shift, those are differentials. Overtime, you're definitely going to get paid more. So I could possibly be making close to $100,000 a year as a registered nurse in the ICU. But for me, when I was in the ICU, I just worked my regular hours. I tried not to work overtime. I enjoyed, when I was in my younger years, I enjoyed being with my family, being with my friends, and just enjoying life in general. For me, when I was at that age, I wasn't focused on making a lot of money. I was more focused on enjoying my life. I'm very into traveling the world, especially almost free with credit cards and travel points. I love spending time with my family. I love going to the beach. I love just being a part of society, not just in the hospital all the time. But I did work hard as an ICU nurse. I got my experience, and I was very excited about that. So for me, I was making about high 80s, $1,000 a year. While I remember some of my coworkers, when I was in the ICU as a registered nurse, they were making well over $100,000 a year. They were hustling. They were willing to work extra hours, work night shift, cover for other people, which is great. And they were willing to do that because they were focused on other goals in their life and they wanted to make money. So definitely as a registered nurse, you can make a very nice salary. And when you think about it, an annual median salary of $75,000 a year is great. And think about it too. You might be thinking, well, that's a great salary, but when I was looking out for jobs, it wasn't like that. Now you gotta think about the specific area like I was speaking of before, but also specific state. Depending on a state you're working at, you're gonna get paid higher or lower. There are certain states you can get a lower salary versus certain states you can get a higher salary. Also, you think about in the cities, it's kind of different with CRNAs, for example, or advanced practice nurses. With CRNAs, when you work in a more of a rural area, you can get paid much higher salary compared to more of a metropolitan area. While with registered nurse, when you work in more of a metropolitan area, more busy urban society, you're going to actually get paid a higher top dollar salary versus a rural area. So that's definitely something to think about when you're thinking about registered nurses, as well as when you're thinking about becoming an advanced practice nurse. So those are definitely some things to think about when you're considering a job opportunity, depending on the state, depending on the specific metropolitan area. Now I'm going to get to some bonus information, which I think is nice for you to know, saying you're a person who's thinking about being a registered nurse and you're willing to travel anywhere across the country because you're thinking, well, you know what, I want to make more money, and that is okay and that is fine. Everyone's different and everyone has different goals in life. So I'm going to disclose to you, within my research, what are the areas that are making more specific states where you're making a higher salary, so you can know, so you can make that decision. California, you're going to make approximately, that's the top paying state in the country. And of course, we all know that it's great working as a registered nurse there. There's a lot of states. So California, you can make approximately $106,000 a year, median salary that I've seen in the research. As well as the next one below that is Hawaii, coming out with $98,000 a year. Then District of Columbia at $92,000 a year. Massachusetts coming at almost the same, $92,000 a year, plus or minus a couple $100. And Oregon, which is $91,000 a year. And that's just looking at the annual median salary when you're looking at the data. So those are some areas and those are some specific states that are making more money. Just to say it in general, I mean, some of those research studies are from 2018, 19, and going on to 2020. So it's always changing. But just to let you know in general, California has been known to pay very well for registered nursing. As a registered nurse, just know that you're going to get a very comfortable salary, approximately $70,000 a year. So definitely keep that into mind about salaries and definitely different areas, as well as different states. So if you want to learn more about CRNAs, how to grow your CRNA, definitely click one of these videos over here, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.